Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have a musician, Travis Talbert. This conversation started out a little heavy at first. Asked Travis how many kids he had, and he actually lost a child whenever they were an infant. So we talked about bereavement, losing a child, and what that experience was like for him. We also talk about having 3 kids after that experience, playing pedal steel guitar, his kids' education experience, his journey with the religion and spirituality, critical thinking and curiosity, quitting alcohol and what that experience has been like for him, being around for kids and playing shows around town, and what summertime is like with his kids. Just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. First off, first question I usually ask Travis after saying, hey, welcome to an episode of The Imperfect Dads.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you taking your time to do this. Yeah, is how many kids you got? Ages, all that good stuff.
So we have three with us that my son is the youngest. He's 3. Then we have Ellie, who is 10. Then my daughter Hazel is 12. And then our firstborn, before them, he lived his whole life at Children's Hospital. He made it to about 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I figure that's pertinent to this conversation. So
It is. How first of all, I'm sorry for the loss of your child. That's how long ago was it, if I can
He was
ask?
born in September 2012, and they lived into the beginning of 2013.
Okay. What was the gap between having your first child and your second child?
It was about a year and a half. Hazel was born in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. How's it? I've had on other dads who have lost a child and everything. Yeah, it's thank you for leading with that, because it is kind of like, hey, this is actually part of my story.
Yeah, I try and be pretty forthcoming with it. I'd say especially like the people that know me real well know that I'm perfectly willing to, like, I like talking about him. You know, it's his life it was complicated. I mean, but everybody's life's complicated, and it really it taught me so many things that I think about constantly every day, and it kind of solidified so many things about how I see the world. And now I feel like I've missed your question.
No, that's it. It's me wanting to make sure to give space, like, to discuss your firstborn child and everything, and being like, oh, thanks for I mean, that's such a even like, hey man, I just met you like 5 minutes ago, and here we are talking about like a very
and it's funny. And not to reference another podcast. I did a podcast with a friend of mine where a lot of that was about talking about the first time that I really did that I remember telling a stranger as I met him. So I did this interview with somebody where I was talking about the first time that I decided, like, in casual conversation, like I was on the road playing somewhere, and this person I was talking to, it was his club, and we were talking about our families, and I decided, like, I'm just going to say this like how it is. And I told this guy that I had never met, kind of the same way I met, and he said the exact same thing had happened to him. And that was the first person I ever told that. So, you know, that didn't know.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I don't know, you know, that made it seem like a thing that I already knew was, you know, like, you know, that everybody goes through this. You know, you're never far away from somebody. Like, everybody loses people. So it's not something to shy away from, at least to me, you know, and I think it's actually, it's much more helpful to talk about things than it is to not.
Yeah. It is. And I mean, already my assumption is like, oh man, you've seen some shit. and you've probably experienced some shit. And so that's like, honestly, is why it's like, oh, you and your wife have probably know each other really well, because that's such a deeply intimate thing to like go through together and to experience each other and then like have kids afterwards. I'm like, oh, that's a journey, I guess, is what my mind usually goes to if someone tells me that.
For sure. Yeah. I agree with all what you just said.
There's a group called the Sad Dads Club, which is a nonprofit created for bereaved fathers or fathers who have lost a child. And their like tagline or whatever you want to call it is best guys, worst club, where it's like they've met some of the best guys, but the reason you're in this club together is one of the most awful things you could possibly go through. Okay, so tell me again. So do you go daughter, daughter, son? Is that the order after your firstborn?
Yeah, his name was Tobin. Then I've got Hazel, Ellie, and Leon.
Nice, cool. I have 3 kids. It goes daughter, daughter, son. And I feel like the son made me think, like, after having 2 daughters, we were like, oh, we understand daughters. We understand how this works. And then having a son was just like, never mind. Gotta reset all of my knowledge base, everything. I think I know what I'm doing, because it's just having a son is having 2 of one gender and then 1 of another is just such a different experience.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know what you mean, but I just try not to think about things like that. At least in those kind of terms. And I mean, like, honestly, like, we've got all 3 of them in the same room. You know, and the girls are old enough that they're a big help with them, and they like having them around. So I feel like he's getting, you know, I grew up with, I just had a younger brother. I feel like there's got to be something like more worldly about growing up with, you know, like a wider perspective in the household for all of them, that I didn't get. So I don't know. They're going to be their own people anyway. So what do I know?
Well, as long as we have this moment with our son where the 2 older ones, so mine are 10, 8, and he'll be 5 in September.
Okay. Like similar kind of vibes.
Similar. Yeah. But we're finding that whenever my daughters want to help him, there's the moments where he's like, no, I got this. Like, his need for independence is greater. So it's real fun to have them be like, to look at a kid and be like, what you're doing has really good intentions. He hates everything right now. And that's not about you. Yeah. So, yeah,
like, they always want to help him. And I'm like, you got to get out of his face. Like, that's, you know, my man does not want you up in his face like that. You know, this is not the time for a hug.
No, it's not.
I mean, it probably is, but he doesn't want
it. The timing might be good. His willingness to receive the love you want to offer him is not there. So, and also, like, when they're a baby, you do like get like, you know, this close to their face. So, like, to teach your kids, like, hey, actually, like, now you can have physical distance from to understand you and see you is like, takes them a bit to understand too, I think. Our daughters share a room and our son has his own room currently. What made you guys be like, hey, I'll just do 1 room for all 3 kids? Is it just like necessity, or was it more intentional?
Necessity. I mean, like, so our house, there's 2 bedrooms upstairs, and there's this room that I'm in is in the basement, and it could function as a bedroom one day, but currently I use this as I teach guitar a couple days a week out of this room. It's got a door right outside. It's kind of perfect for that. Cool. And at one time there were 6 kids in this house. Like, they had 4 girls upstairs and 2 down here. And I know that because we bought the house from my mom was friends with all the siblings that grew up here that were part of the 6 that lived here. One of the guys, like, this was my high school principal's bedroom that I'm in right now. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I was just gonna say it is interesting because, like, my dad is 1 of 5, and I think their house had like 2, maybe 3 bedrooms. So they all shared rooms, and it's interesting that, like, having the ability to have like 2 kids in one room, to have kids have their own space and stuff, like, feels like a luxury to some extent, or like privilege. It's like, oh, you guys can all have your own space. It's like, well, they don't need that. But if you can have it, it's an interesting mental thing.
I mean, like, also, I'm trying to think. It was probably, I read a biography of Ravi Shankar a few years ago that he was talking about like just growing up, 100 years ago in India,
Yeah.
and just how many people in that family lived in the same, like the whole family was in one
Yeah.
room, like slept in the same room. And you think about like the, the reality of that. Yeah, it is all coming down to like what you want versus what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I remember my wife and I, before we had kids, were able to do a trip to the Philippines, like Manila. And yeah, like you've got like how many million people
Oh,
on
yeah.
one island. And it's like, oh, so like all the things I think I need are more comfort than necessity. And I'm trying not to add like a value to it of like, it's good, I want comfort.
Yeah.
It's bad, I want comfort. It's like, nope, you have the option for comfort and you're choosing it. And you know what? Just acknowledge what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I've been
So,
to New York City, I like it a little more every time, but I'm like, no way I can live here. No way.
Yep.
Yeah.
New York for like 3 days is
Oh,
great.
that's
I
like
think
the perfect amount of time. Yeah.
And much more than that, I'm like, oh my God, like it's just a lot of stimulation. And yeah, man, it's not, I don't know how you sustain the day-to-day rhythm with that much like things coming at you at
Yeah,
all
I think
times.
there's certain people that probably thrive on it, but like I like it to be kind of, well, not kind like I like when it's completely quiet sometimes,
Yeah.
and I've never had that there.
No, I don't think it's possible. My kids all like to read a lot, which means our house is usually pretty quiet. What are your kids into? Do they like reading? Do they like more quiet activities?
Yeah, I mean they're very relaxed, you know, um, very easy to be around. My oldest daughter is real into the Harry Potter books right now and is reading a lot. The younger one was at least they just got out of school last week, but she's been enjoying those Lemony Snicket's books.
Oh yeah.
Which I've never read either of those series. My son is definitely the loudest of the bunch, and but he's laid back when he needs to be, and and my wife's a teacher, so she's off for the summer now. She has endless things planned every summer for them for the whole time, so they really pack it all in. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. We do libraries a lot. I'm a stay-at-home parent, so whenever it's summertime, it's me and all 3 kids at home. And I feel like a lot of going to the zoo, going to science center, or going to libraries is kind of like where we live during the summer.
Pro library. We do love the library.
Yeah. We do too. It seems like because I don't know about you, but like I rarely reread books. I don't know if you read much as like a grown up and everything, but like I feel like I rarely come back to books. It's kind of like a one and done.
Yeah, I would say I read compulsively. And I have things that I have read more than once. But not a ton. Like I could probably name the ones I've read multiple times on both hands. Like I've read Demon Haunted World by Carl Sagan at least 4 times. I've read the Malcolm X's autobiography multiple times. The Boys of Summer by Roger Kahn. Winesburg, Ohio. Yeah, those ones. Then everything else is a pretty kind of like, I stopped even keeping books. I started reselling them, getting them out.
Oh, really?
Just because I figure they're going to do better for somebody else if they're out there and they can read them.
Yep. Unless I feel the same. Unless I have like a really strong emotional connection to the author or the book after I read it. For the most part, I'm like, I might never pick this up again, and like, it's just going to take up shelf space. So
yeah,
maybe take it somewhere.
Yeah, the thing and I even have kind of like a 1 in, 1 out policy with my records now, where I'm just I'm not going to get more storage space. We've got most of the dining room. So if they don't fit, something's got to go.
Yeah. That's the hardest for me because I will buy something and then I'll like realize something else has come out that I want to buy. And then I'll buy it, but it's before I even took the time to listen to the album I just bought. So no, that is, I need to be better about that because I do that a lot of like, I'm just going to, I'm supporting local record stores and musicians. So I should just keep on buying them and not think about it.
I
I'm
mean, I
actually
think
using
you
them or not.
should. I don't think,
Yeah.
but yeah, at a certain point, it's always good to just, you got to weed the garden a little bit.
A little bit. Or be like, I didn't remember I had this album. Cool. Do you need to keep it then?
Yeah. There can be that for sure.
Can be. What's for your oldest? Is she in middle school now? Is she in high school?
So she'll be going into 7th grade next year. But
Okay.
they're all like, it's all like one big elementary thing until high school for them. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
What was your in my experience? I did K through 8th grade, all at the same school, but I went to like a small Lutheran private school. What was your experience? Did you have like K through 5th and then like middle school?
I had the exact same experience that they're having because they are going to the same place that I went to grade school, which is a little Catholic school in like in our neighborhood. I'm in Latonia, Kentucky, which is just south of Cincinnati, like we're part, Covington area. And that was, I would say, even more at my wife's behest because I don't follow any sort of religion. Like I'm an agnostic. I kind of completely reject the whole idea, but I can't.
Yeah.
I always have to kind of come back to the fact that I can't say that it didn't give me a good education. Because it really did. Like that, they sort of created a person who I think is very critical of what they're telling me because of how they taught me to think. And so I guess maybe like I'm partially hoping that they'll end up the same way. I mean, they're going to form their own ideas about it anyway, but it still is important to my wife and the rest of my family in a way that it isn't to me, but I don't. And then the other thing being that my wife is a public school teacher and, has a way more informed opinion on anything education based than I ever will have. So I'm going to defer to her.
Yeah, since I went to a Lutheran K through 8th grade school, my hope is that if you do go to a religious school of some sort, they're more honestly teaching you like a lot of critical thinking, which any school should be teaching you. But like to me, that's more like curiosity should be like, what's a creator? Why did this God create us? Is what I think a healthy version of religion should be. And that's a whole side tangent of whenever religion is just about obedience and not about curiosity. And I also not a fan of that life.
Yeah. It just it doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't even think about it honestly on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, like my kids all know that. And I don't know. I don't know how to do anything other than just tell them like, I don't believe any of that. I don't.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's been interesting because my wife and I both were raised like in religious settings. And to be like, whenever we've tried to do like a Sunday school or something like that for our kids, and they're like, you're a dirty sinner and you deserve hell. We're like, I don't like you saying that to my kid. And like, I also don't know if I agree with that. So we're not coming back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's not a good way to make friends, I don't think. What part of the country did you grow up in?
I grew up in Evansville.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did say that in one of the messages. Okay, so you're not, you weren't far away.
Yeah, I grew up along the Ohio, Yeah. Right. But it's interesting to like think about what messages you heard as a kid and now be the parent and be like, that message was really damaging to me and did not teach me love or community. It taught me shame and guilt. And I would rather you guys not learn shame and guilt at a young age.
Yeah. Like you just start to like think about things that, whether or not I want to frame it that way, I guess I am kind of imparting some sort of guidance to how they're going to look into the world. But I guess all I'm trying to do is be a little more objective about it than I feel like some of the people around me were, because I don't, I like to tell them, like, even when I'm saying something very sternly, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
Well,
nobody does. Like, that's all you figure
No.
out the longer you go. It's like, nobody knows what's happening.
No
Like,
one knows.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But as a kid, whenever you're in like a religious circle, a part of a religious school, you're like, oh, this must be the correct way to live. And as an adult, I'm like, it's a way to live.
And it is. It's
and
a way to live.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, it's definitely like a community building thing. And it's, yeah, I guess that's the thing that I always kind of just find frustrating, is that, that you almost can't find like a large society that's figured out how to have communal kind of social gatherings that is, removed from some sort of overarching religious thing that is almost always kind of got some fear, looming in it. And, that's like bigger questions of like, why do we, we're all just dreading something, I guess, so like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
But maybe don't feed me what I'm dreading,
Right.
like I'm already going to be anxious.
Yeah.
I'm already going to be like, what if I die today? Like that's already going to be in my conscience. So don't remind me every second I talk to you, you're going to die one day. Like I already know.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess so. But like, just talking to you, like, it seems like we have that kind of in common. But like, don't you ever meet people that you're like, I don't think that they're worried the way that I am right now? And I'm like, I wonder what that's like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. My wife and I will talk about that of like, cause like, guilt or shame is like a natural response for me, is like, hey, did you do this? And I'm like, oh, I feel guilt and shame. Well, you don't even know what your answer to the question is yet. You're just already assuming guilt and shame. And we're like, so there are people who just don't feel guilt and shame as like their natural instinct. Huh.
Yeah.
Whoa. That must be freak. No, they have something else that fills the void of self-hatred. But
Probably.
still, that's fascinating to know.
Yeah. I don't know what that must be like.
So it's fun though to have kids and like try to not repeat your mental warfare you go through every single day with the full knowledge of you don't really have that much control over it. You just hopefully put them in scenarios where they can like learn to trust and love themselves, because that's, I feel like, pretty important to teach a kid.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're just little balls of autonomy. And I just want them to keep being that.
Pretty much. And be decent, like, hey, let's just be a decent person, be nice to people.
I repeat the axiom in all kinds of aspects of life of don't suck, don't die, which was the title of Kristen Hirsch had that book that she wrote about Vic Chestnut. And that was the title. And I was like, that is really everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Just keep it simple, man.
So we're probably done here, right?
Yeah, so that is it. Well, thank you so much. No, I think I'll always say that, like, I think life has a lot of really simple answers, and then my mind likes to overcomplicate everything. So it is like, hey, man, just be decent to people and try not to die today. And it's like, oh, that took a lot of work today.
Yeah.
Today, I overcomplicated that message a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm getting better at that, but I know what you mean. Like, I've definitely overcomplicated things in my past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about like, what do you do for a living? I know you said you teach guitar lessons. Do you play like with a band or anything? Do you tour?
Yeah, I do all that. And then I've worked at a record store in Cincinnati called Shake It for 16. It's like coming on 16 years in a few weeks.
Nice.
So I do that kind of like half the week. I teach the other half of the week, and then I do kind of play gigs and tour for different people. It's like kind of all those things all adding up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. What do you feel like your primary instrument is, or if you go out to play a show, what are you normally playing?
The last few years, what I mostly play is pedal steel. But I still just think of that as a guitar, and I just think of myself as a guitar player.
I was going to say, I've tried pedal steel before, and I cannot, my brain just doesn't click with it. It's just, I've messed with it a bit, but I've never been able to make it like, even playing like slide guitar, I'm just like, this is a different, like, I just need to practice more because I don't naturally like get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, steel, I just think of as like Well, I mean, music in general, like especially guitar, I just think of like chess, where you have like all these possibilities. So there is a finite number of things that could happen, but it's almost incomprehensible for a human brain to kind of think of all of them. But then there's a lot of things that are pretty logical, so you can boil it down and like eliminate a bunch of other options. And so with steel, it's just about like you always have some tuning that you have to land underneath the bar. And then it's about like, what can I do with these changes to make that the tuning that I need?
Yeah, you're saying how you approach it.
Yeah. But no, I bet, if you just hung out with it for a few weeks, I bet it'd start to make more sense to you.
That's what my wife is really going to love, is me just one day being like, you know what? I'm playing pedal steel now. And she's like, are you like, did someone ask if you wanted to like play in a band? I'd be like, no, I'm just exploring new things.
I will say when I bought my first one, which was, it's probably been like 9 years ago. I do remember saying to my wife, I was like, people might actually pay me one day to play this one. And, and not that like she's ever cared about that, but it has actually been the thing that, I will actually say I've made money from playing that instrument. Probably hasn't offset everything else, but what does, Yeah.
One of my friends. Yeah.
I was going to say we're a debt-based economy. That's,
that's
how I read that Hamilton book. That's what I took from it, Yeah.
Yep. And pretty accurate. Well, one of my buddies down in Nashville, Todd Farrell, picked up pedal steel, and I'll just like see pictures of him online randomly being like, all right, here he is at this venue. What's he playing? Pedal steel. What would he play if he could? Probably Slayer covers, which is very different than pedal steel.
Yep. The other thing that's fun about steel that I think that I always encourage people to get into it is that like you just immediately make friends with all the steel players because it's a very welcoming community. So I'm sure you know plenty of them, and I think they all say the same thing. Like everybody's very approachable. It's great.
And also, they know, I feel like Todd was like, or when talking about it, he was like, I know way too much about this instrument. I have no idea why I went so deep on learning about all the history of it. It can be Hawaiian sounding, and like all the different uses of it is like, there's actually a lot of depth to steel pedal steel guitar that I did not know existed.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah. But I mean, what else are you going to do with your time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, well, it was either, what's like the meme is like, do you choose like craft beer or this? And instead of choosing a lot of craft beer, I chose, pedal steel for some
I
people.
quit drinking shortly after I got a guitar. I like the steel. So, yeah. I mean, like, I quit drinking I just decided in all aspects it wasn't doing me any good. But I will say that playing pedal steel, I thought, man, I need to have my shit together to even like approach feeling like I'm doing this justice. And I thought, definitely can't drink before these gigs,
Yeah.
And then that just kind of extended into things. And I was like, I don't think I need to do that anymore. And I just stopped doing it. Yeah.
Yep. I've never heard someone be like, unless they're an alcoholic, maybe. No. I don't feel like anyone's like, man, I miss drinking. Anyone who gives up drinking is like, oh man, a lot of things are a lot better. Like I'm a lot healthier in a lot of ways where I didn't realize I wasn't so healthy because I was just drinking.
Yeah, I have way fewer arguments that I've started with people that I don't know, or worse than like ones that I do know. It's like, I've got a big enough mouth as it is, and like that didn't help any of that.
Yeah. Some filters good. Some filters good for not getting punched in the face and not punching someone in the face.
I mean, I should have had the shit kicked out of me way more times than I have. So.
I relate to that sentiment of being like, while I'm saying something, I'm not being like, Devin, stop it. That's a person. That's a person. Stop talking. Just stop talking.
Nobody's interested in the intellectual point you're making. That's like the thing that I had to tell myself.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you're not building any connection or community here. You're just trying to be right about something. And that's not fun to be around.
Yeah,
So
I know.
maybe don't be this person right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's, how is it? I was going to ask, like, I think it's really cool to highlight dads because I've talked to a couple dads where like they stopped drinking because they just knew it'd be healthier for them. And I love that because like, I feel like the story that I'd always heard growing up was like, he was an alcoholic and he almost ruined his life and he had to stop drinking. And I'm like, actually, most people that I know just look up one day and they're like, I actually just need to stop drinking because it's like, I think there's better decisions for myself.
Yeah. I think I quit drinking 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
So my youngest daughter was a couple years old, and I do remember being at maybe like a 4th of July thing or something like that,
Mhm.
I had a couple of drinks, and I said something like about like, stop doing that to one of them, that I thought, I don't know if I would have even like said that if I was, just like stone sober. And it wasn't like there was nothing really malicious about it, but I thought, I don't want to have to, like, I second much of what's in my head all the time anyway. And I thought, I don't want to have to keep of like, did I lose my temper because I was angry, or did I lose my temper because I was mostly drunk? And I don't know. It just seemed like there's nothing good about this for me. And yeah. And I had other people around me that had quit for, for similar reasons. I guess, everybody quits for their own reason, but it just seemed for, for me, like the thing that I'm always worried about is my anger. And that was not helping that. And I thought I gotta eliminate that part first.
I think if you have a substance that emboldens the characteristics of yourself that you don't like, it's pretty logical to stay away from the substance that makes you feel comfortable being a worse version of yourself. But it's interesting how much time it can take you to admit, like, no, man, alcohol makes you okay with being angry. And you're like, oh, I shouldn't be drinking.
I know, but like you just said that, and you just like streamlined my thoughts perfectly. And then you even said, but it's amazing how long it takes you to figure that out.
Oh, dude.
Yep. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's
at
how
that time,
anything works.
it had been like,
it's not that bad.
it had been like half my life at the time that I finally decided to do it. Like, what the hell? That's stupid.
And I'm glad you're in a place in which you can look up and say, that was really dumb that I kept coming back to alcohol and assuming different results. And now you've been able, it takes a while to be that honest with yourself though, man.
Who knows?
But it's, I think really that I really mean it is like, if you know something makes you a worse version of yourself, hopefully everyone has the mental availability to look up and go, hey, how do I distance myself from this? How do I not put myself in a position in which I'm drinking consistently because I really don't like who I am whenever, like I am more permissible of stuff whenever I drink than I should be. So I need to stop drinking.
Yeah. I'm glad it's over.
Also, though, a hell of a lot easier said than done. Because, like, how do you handle now, like, because I mean, most of your gigs, I'm assuming, are in bars or like, where alcohol is very accessible to you, is what I would assume.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, like, just speaking as a person who has plenty of people that I think have, I don't even know. I shy away from ever thinking like I was an alcoholic, and not in the way that like, you go to one of the secret society meetings and they're like, no, you got to say that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have the like my brain doesn't latch on to it the same way that I see other people do it. So like, it definitely was hard to like break the habit at first. And there are moments where it sounds like, oh, that might be nice kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't, at this point I've been doing, still playing out and being in places like that enough that I don't even think about that part anymore.
Yeah.
And then like the last, like post pandemic, most of the places that I've played, it's been it's been a nicer situation where I'm playing somewhere that might have a green room, and I
Yeah.
can just go. I can go
Yep.
be away from all those,
Yeah.
those things.
Yep.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's also the rise of non-alcoholic options. So like it might be like, hey, do you want like I feel like most bars have a ton of non-alcoholic options. They're like, hey, do you want a soda water? Do you want this? Do you want that? As opposed to like, do you want beer or liquor?
Yeah.
Is like I feel like 10, 15 years ago, those would have been the two options in that scenario, as opposed to like maybe you want a non-alcoholic mule or something like
Yeah,
that.
the soda water's definitely where I go.
Yeah. Oh man, I love also talking to like people about like green rooms because it's hilarious to me because like I don't know if you aren't someone who's like been around music venues, but like green rooms are either non-existent, a closet, or like its own suite and beautiful and great, and I love that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to do it recently, but I used to do a pretty regular Instagram post where it was just a picture of myself in the green room, and it always just says green rooms are rarely green.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. Like a lot of times they're a closet or
Yep.
they're like the walk-in, right before the cold part, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah. It's a dumb way to spend your time, but it's better than anything else I've found. So
For like summertime with your kids, like it seems like your wife kind of like takes the lead with like planning stuff for them, making sure that they're taken care of the entire time. Does your job allow you much flexibility to like go on adventures with them during the day or be part of that? Or are you kind of like, all right, let's do some more guitar lessons, let's find some more gigs like for the whole summer?
I would say it's a lot of both. Like I try and keep myself as routine as possible, where I still have weekly lessons. I still pick up gigs like as it kind of depends on like I have a handful of people that I've been playing for a few years that those are kind of like if they offer me a tour and it's gonna work out, I'm gonna go do that. And then I've got my own things that I do, and I try and keep those kind of regular. But then, yeah, it works out pretty well. Like that, my schedule that I can, like I'm going to take. Last year we got both the girls Kings Island passes. Have you ever been to Kings Island?
Yeah.
So like they love that, and we got them that again for their birthdays this year. And I went a couple days ago, and after we finish this, I'm taking them both, and we're going for the rest of the night today.
Nice.
And during the school year, like I'm home in the mornings with my son nearly every day, and then like we're lucky that my mom and now both my parents, now that my dad's retired, have always watched the kids like in the evening times, like when I go to work. But I get to be with them in the mornings, and I do get to spend a ton of time with them. And then like the balance being that like then like a couple weeks ago I was gone for the whole week, and everybody kind of helps out, and it's awesome, and they make that work. And if you're talking to lots of musicians, like it does kind of go that it'll seem like nothing's ever going to happen ever again. And then all of a sudden, and I've stopped worrying about that as much, because then it's like everybody asks for something all at the same time. And that just seems to inevitably happen. But yeah, look, I try all the time now to just do now is really what I strive for. So like, I don't even believe in time. I really don't. I don't think it exists. All we have is our perception of right now. Even the things that are in the past, I'm just thinking of it right now. It doesn't exist outside of how I see it. I don't worry about like the things like feel like they're going fast and like everything's blowing by. I try not to do that at all. It's just right now.
Yeah. I think I'll have moments of like I'm more prone to realize the passing of time, but not pine for like a previous day. Like I'm not a very nostalgic person.
Yeah.
I'm more like, if anything, I'm like, how lucky it is to have watched my oldest is 10, but how lucky it is to watch her and be in her life for 10 years.
Amen,
Now,
man.
like, I can't believe she's 10. I'm just like, oh man, like she's been around for this long. I've been around for this long.
I know.
What a gift.
I know. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. Like, yeah, I think of all these things that I've seen them do, and yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no part of me is like, oh man, wasn't it so good? Like, I'm not nostalgic for diaper days. I'm not nostalgic for a kid missing a nap and then like being a jerk because they're overtired and won't take a nap. Like, I'm not nostalgic for that. I'm grateful I was able to do it. But
right.
yeah.
But I feel I don't like any kind of canned language when I'm talking to people. Like, I don't like small talk with people for the most part. But like, I also kind of despise when people go, like, they ask how old you're, and they're like, oh, that's a fun age. And I like to say, as a canned language back at them, I always go, they've all been fun ages, because they have.
Yep.
I really can't think of a moment with any of my kids that hasn't been awesome. They're just so much fun. Everything about it is great. It's like the only thing I don't feel jaded about ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
I do. No, because it is like, because it's, I think like one of the most fascinating responsibilities as a parent is to like know your own cynicism and your own distrust of the world, and then watch your kid enter into the world and try not to pass it on to them, but also like make them aware of what the world is actually like.
Yeah.
Is like an exhausting balance. Cause like I want my 10-year-old to understand the world, but not fully, because the world is real effed up. So like, how do I do that, but also get to see them like see stuff with a positive, trusting light that I don't have as much anymore?
Yeah. I think I was telling my oldest daughter something to the effect of like, the things that I saw my parents do that I see in myself, and then things that I do to like try and correct some of those things that I don't want to like fall completely into.
Yep.
And, no slight on my parents for whatever. It was just like things that's like, I don't want to fall into that habit the same way that I think that they have. And I was telling her, and I was like, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to have something that you're like, oh, Dad did that, and that's super annoying. And now I see myself. And I was like, it'll happen. It's fine. Cool. It's just what you know. It's familiar. Yeah. And you get the choice of how far you want to let yourself lean into it. Hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Nope. And it's like, it gives you, it's an opportunity also to give yourself some grace, give your parents some grace, maybe, and be like, oh, cool. If I want to be this person, then don't change anything. But if you don't want to be this person, how do you break the habit?
Yeah.
And hopefully you get the energy to do it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I feel like in relation to also like what is time, does time really exist, is like, all right, so if I'm about to enter into this space, what energy do I have? Is like another thing, is like, do I have the energy to approach this the way I think I could or should? Sometimes yes, sometimes now I'm pretty tired. So I know this version of me is going to give less than I feel like I'm capable of. So just acknowledge that to yourself at least, and maybe someone else if you feel like you can trust them with that also.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired all the time, so I'm always giving less. So I don't wake up feeling refreshed.
Do some people wake up and they're like, let's go, day? I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I know. I've never felt like that. Like, nothing to do with kids. Like, I just do not feel like I wake up. Like, I don't know how I got through school, because I don't know how I was up that early as a child. Like, I can get up earlier now and I'm just fine with being tired because nobody's rushing me. But like to get up and then they're going to go ask me to perform mental tasks. It's like, how the hell did I do any of that?
My wife is always like, I feel like you wake up at like 8 p.m. Like I've been awake since 6, but like around 7 or 8 p.m. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? And she's like, we've been going for like 12 hours. I'm ready for bed. And you're like ready to like, let's go to a concert, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, I also wish my rhythms were different, but this is who I am. So here we go.
Yeah. I feel you, buddy.
But yeah, waking up refreshed and ready to go for the day, I feel like more the like, oh, I got stuff to do was what wakes me up. Not like my body is naturally rested and goes like, oh man, these kids got to get out the door by 7. Okay, I can't sit here. I got to get up. I got to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Necessity. Yeah. How I end every episode is I ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They're all like pretty casual, and you have time to think about them.
Okay.
They aren't rapid fire. The first question is, did you have any backup names for your kids? Like, did you have anything that you almost named your child?
We had other things that I know I pitched that I thought were great
Yeah.
that my wife wasn't as into, but I feel like we came to a pretty good, understanding, and they all have meaning to me, like outside of like whatever they might just appear on the surface that I don't know if,
Yeah.
I don't think my wife cared about that Hazel's name is Hazel Alice, like Hazel Dickens and Alice Gerard. Like, I don't think that part mattered to her. She just liked how they sounded together, and that really is all that it mattered. Yeah.
She's a if she's a school teacher also, though, you've got a big mountain to climb of kids. Yeah,
she has specific names that she was like, no, that one's not good. But I think, like, in general, I like hard consonants most of the time, and I like things that, I guess you would call them like old timey. Like, I thought Walter would have been a really good name for one of my sons, but I was not in a friendly room for Walters.
I think if you name a kid Walter, you have to figure out how to age them to be like 60 or 70 automatically. Because, like, I've never met a 10-year-old Walter.
I am very prepared to do that. Because I just talk to everybody exactly the same way. Like, from the moment they get here, I don't really know any other way to do it. And I am, in my head, I'm like a 73-year-old man and have been from, I think I try to embody that. Like, my one grandpa that lived that I knew him, he would just, he smoked constantly, and he would just sit and tell us stories, and he loved just sitting and talking. And I try to have that energy, And he would just say, like, when we were kids, we'd be out to dinner with him, and he'd go, "Trav, you want to go smoke with me?" And that just meant you were going to walk outside the Bob Evans, and he was going to smoke, and he was going to talk to you. And that was I still think of that very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're just waiting for your body to catch up with, like, your mentality of being a 7-year-old man.
I don't know. He lived till he was like 86, 87, 88, something like that. And in the last few years, I remember going over to his house for something that he was just standing in his doorway. He looked all frail as could be. He had shrunk. And I don't remember what he was joking around with me, but he kind of like dropped back onto his legs and threw like a combination of punches. Like, this is a guy that had been in the Navy.
Yeah.
He did that, and I was like, if he had hit me, that shit would have hurt. And like, when he jumped, I was afraid for him, like he was going to fall down, and he had great balance. So, like, maybe I'm in as good a shape as he ever was.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Now, maybe I'm just already on the downside. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know until you're there.
You don't. That's cool. Next question is, who's like your favorite TV or movie dad?
Ooh.
Or what comes to mind?
I think the one that comes to mind is probably Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good, he was a lawyer, which is a little quite my thing. But, like, he's when you find out more about Uncle Phil, you find out he was kind of coming from a radical place, and he was trying to take down the system from the inside. I can get down with that. Yeah. And he, he's loud, but he's well-intentioned. He's taken in his nephew. Yeah, I'm going with Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that answer.
It's a consistent answer to the point where, like,
okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, you're good.
Okay.
I think, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is like one of those shows I remember watching, like, the reruns of as a kid, but never watching it, like, in real time. I feel like whenever you're a kid, there's just, like, always episodes of, like, Seinfeld or The Simpsons on, and I had no idea why.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know this. I almost need to, like, go back and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air so I can actually watch the Uncle Phil, like, character arc, because, like, I just think of him as, like, being in the background, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't remember if I was watching. I feel like I was watching that as it was going on, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another great thing with time is to be like, yeah, The Simpsons are a big part of my childhood. I can't tell you what seasons. I can't tell you what years. I can just tell you random quotes from episodes that make no sense out of context.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Next question. You might not have one. Do you have a replacement curse word or do you just say the curse word?
Oh, you mean like in front of my kids?
Yeah, in front of your kids. Yeah. Like stub your toe, something like that.
A few years ago, and I know this because I was like loading out of a show that I had played, and my wife texted me that they had been at some sort of family function, and that my daughters had been telling like all of my aunts that, oh yeah, Dad curses all the time, like, and she said, and I remember thinking like, well, that's no, not that I cared, but I was like, I don't want that to be the thing they tell everybody about me.
That's your legacy. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to show them and I'll just never swear in front of them ever again. And so I didn't for like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't, I would say in general, I don't curse in front of them, but I also, I think they're old enough now that like, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing I tell them with a joke. Like they said, like the only rule with a joke is that it has to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that like in the same way that like if they're saying something like that, I was like, you got to know the room, and if it's not going to land, you're going to look.
Don't say it.
Yeah, yep. Don't say it. And so, yeah, I think I just say I've been trying not to curse in front of the boy because he's young and he will repeat stuff that I'm not, I'm trying not to do that. I don't think I have a replacement word. I just don't, I just grunt.
Yeah, sound effects. I think sound effects is more what I'm prone to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had, it's kind of along this line, but it wasn't my fault necessarily, but when when my younger daughter, she had trigger thumbs, when she was real little, and we had to go get those. It was like a real quick operation, but I had to take her for a preliminary visit, and it was around Thanksgiving, and I know that because the night before she had come downstairs and she was probably like 3, and I had Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on. And
oh God.
And I thought she was asleep and not even paying attention, sitting next to me in the chair. And it was during the whole scene where it was like, you didn't have the fucking car in the fucking
space. Yeah.
Like,
where he says the F word like 20 times
over and over. And I just thought she was asleep. And so then the next day I drive her to this appointment and she's sitting in the back of my van that I had at the time, just like this tiny little kid in the back of my van. And she was like singing to herself, fucking, fuck. And I was like, what are you saying, Elle? And she just, and so she's singing that. And then I realized that, and I was like, well, she just heard the word. She doesn't even know what it means. But then somebody cut me off on the drive home and I went, whoa. I just went, whoa. That's all I said. And she said, what do you say, whoa? And I was like, this guy cut me off. And she went, this fucking guy.
That's awesome. How old was she?
Like 3, 4, something, tops. Yes. And I was like, wow. Yeah. We watched, we were watching through The Bear, and our like 4-year-old son had come into the room, and we thought he had fallen asleep. And we watched the episode of like the Dinner of the Seven Fishes, which is like this massive Italian like dinner, and they get into a huge fight. There's a moment where Bob Odenkirk is like trying to get someone to punch him. He's like, you fucking pussy, you won't do it. You fucking pussy, you fucking pussy. And my son just starts going, you fucking pussy. And we're like, no, that's not. Yeah, you can't do that.
There is no scenario in which my 4-year-old saying you fucking pussy is a scenario.
Not going to work out well for you. Yeah.
It's not. But it's now a good story to tell. But in the moment, I was like, how do we negatively reinforce this?
Yeah.
To never say this phrase again, because this does not turn out well for anyone if you say this in a different context.
Yeah.
Next question. What was like one of your favorite like activities or toys that you play with your kids?
Well, I do like any time that they want to go like hit wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Just because I love baseball. But in general, I would say just like I like being outside when they're riding their bikes. I remember like riding my bike when I was a kid and loving that.
Mhm.
And then maybe selfishly, but my son definitely loves playing the drums. And
That's fun.
so, and I'll play music with my daughters too, I've told people like they definitely like it, but he seems like it might ruin his life, you know?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
And so I like playing music with them whenever they want to do that. But yeah, I mean, the, both of them, my daughters are real like they like painting and making
Mhm.
crafts and stuff like that, and like they'll rope me into doing that because I don't ever like gravitate towards it, but I've enjoyed
Nope.
doing that with them. And
Yeah.
if they want to
Yeah.
hang out with me, I'm pretty psyched about it. It's cool. Doesn't matter.
It was like, oh, this is great. This is great. Yeah, what
Yeah.
you want? Are we getting ice cream? Are we just hanging out? Are we walking around
Yeah.
the neighborhood? This is awesome.
Oh
This
yeah,
is great.
just taking a walk is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But also takes the most energy to convince them to do, I feel like.
Sometimes.
Or
Or I
can.
like going swimming with everybody. Like we really like doing
Okay.
that too. Yeah.
But never in the Ohio. That's the
Oh no, absolutely not. Can't do that.
God no. God
No.
no. And then last question for you. What is your least favorite kid show or movie? Like show that your kids used to watch or do watch where it's like, I cannot stand this show.
I don't even know if I have an answer to that because
Okay.
I'm pretty good at ignoring things when I want to. Um. So yeah,
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay.
think like I just block out the ones, even a lot of the things that they're enjoying. Like I can do something else and just
Yeah.
sit and read while they're watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I'll ask you a backup question.
Okay.
What's like a moment? Is there like any moment of your kid's life you're most excited to be a part of or see them enter into? Like, is there any phase of like, oh man, I can't wait till my daughters do this or my son does this or anything like that?
No, just again,
Yeah.
it like comes back to the like
Yeah.
right now is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I really do that. Like that's all we have. So,
Mhm.
and I would say that kind of comes back to especially with our firstborn that like you don't know what's going to happen, and that's just how everybody's life is,
Mm-hmm.
So some people's lives are longer than others, and
Yeah.
that's just how it is. So yeah, I'm just the furthest I'll look ahead is like a practical amount, like a week or so, like
Mhm.
just to be like planned enough that that'll be fun, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking forward. We're gonna go ride some roller coasters today. It's gonna be a good time.
That's awesome. I never went to Kings Island because Evansville was pretty. It was
That's
like
a
a
bit
5-hour
of
drive, I think, to
Yeah, that's a
Cincy.
little bit of a drive.
Yeah. So Holiday World is where we went a lot. Was
Where is
Holiday
that
World.
one at?
Santa Claus, Indiana.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
like central of Indiana,
I
and
know.
it had like all these wooden roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah. Santa Claus, Indiana. I know
Santa
that one.
Claus, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Home of Jay Cutler, maybe.
Oh, I didn't know
Anyway,
that. Okay.
as if you need to, like you're gonna up at a trivia one time and be like, "What kind of above average NFL quarterback is from Santa Claus, Indiana?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then last thing I have for you is just like moment for self-promotion. So I don't know if you have like if you're going on tour, playing any shows or anything like that, Instagram, anything like that, if that was something you wanted to do.
Well, I do have a record that we on Instagram I'm under Mavis Guitar, and that's what I call all my kind of solo recordings. And we put out a record. It's me and my brother and my friend Nick. It's called Pedal Steel Trio.
Nice.
So that came out in April, and we did like a release show. But I mean, I'm in other bands that tour more frequently, and like most of the Mavis stuff just happens around here. So like we've had some residencies in the past years and stuff like that, but we are playing a benefit show next month for thing called Sofa Gives, which is a local nonprofit that's all for musicians' healthcare expenses is what they raise money for. So like if people can check that out, like you can donate to that anytime. Sofa Gives.
Okay, cool.
It's through Sofa Burn Records. And like you can listen to the record on Bandcamp or anywhere you can stream it.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you, and try not to keep you from going riding some roller coasters with your daughters. But
I appreciate your time, buddy.
Yeah, man. For the most part, yeah, man. Thanks for taking some time to hang out with me and talk about life.
Yeah, this was fun.
Perfect. Thanks, Travis. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to go to neverafacenetwork.com to learn more about them.